There we go. The man, the myth, the legend. Our on the ground reporter from Hardline, Olly Wilkins, as if he hasn't had a full week of talking about Hardline, riding up and down the side of that track. Even had a day ill. He's committed. He was ecstatic to be invited on to talk more racing for the Hardline review. Ollie, I thought you
Mate,
couldn't. I thought you could get enough bikes, but you can't.
that was that was such a good summary. I tell you what, it is. I forgot what it was like going to a race and having like, I don't know. You're there for a long time, aren't you? That's 5 days, one track.
Yeah, and it's a slow burn, right? And then
Yeah,
race day obviously is the pinnacle, and I think that's where all the energy that makes track walk make sense, and it makes standing on the
yeah,
side make sense. And you're doing obviously, guys, at the Ride Companion, doing a lot of content which you're going to drop, obviously, like over the next few weeks. So you guys were, you're grafted hard there. But you're right. I went to race at Andorra and I feel a bit like a loose part in the beginning, and then you start getting going and the pace starts getting faster. And obviously hardline's a lot different. Like how hard is hardline when you're being there in person? Because the camera's never going to do it justice.
it was very cool to go. I've never been before. This was my first time there, so I had like the full experience. Seeing it for the first time, it was wicked. It was very cool. I would say people have described it as like downhill on steroids, and it is kind of what it is. It's like it's a downhill track with basically it's what happens if you let G and Dan design and build a downhill race, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably why I never end up racing, because it was pretty rough and raw around the edges. And I think it's been a bit more contained within reason. But you're right. It's what those crazy guys were riding anyway. That's probably what they would build. And now, yeah, they've been let loose. I guess they don't even put tape on it. They just put a few poles in the ground, and it's raw, it's ragged. But like the top few after the slick bits looks so steep even on camera. Like, are you ever at the point that you'd want to ride down any of it? Like, you've obviously tackled Fort William,
Yeah,
but like,
there's a lot
is it
of
you want to even go near it, or is some of it like it's just horrible?
those like rock sections are quite rampagey. They're quite like steep shoots. They're kind of individual features, and they're they're really cool. That whole top section after the boggy, rocky, awful bit, that kind of rock roll shoot. I'm doing a bad job of explaining it. You
No,
know the
no,
bit
I
I
know
mean, though, right?
exactly. I think
That
everyone
is,
listening knows those shoots, and they've got some cool branding on them, and like turns and
yeah,
drops, and then I kind of, as some of the camera angles can show you a little bit of how steep it is. Like, it does look Rampage is like, okay, I'm
yeah,
just
it
going to tick this
is,
feature, but now you got to race it as well, which means
man.
you might
It's
bring too much speed into the top.
exactly. It's so cool just to ride it, and then you've got to start building the speed. And I guess that's what you're there for 5 days for. Gradually building the speed. I guess you can't just like go all guns blazing like maybe you can at some of the World Cup downhill tracks. You need to find out interesting ways. I mean, the time differences between riders, these are all invited riders and they're the best riders in the world, but like it feels like there is a difference between people riding hardline and people racing hardline. And like, I don't know, I kind of don't know what that is in skill. It's like a willingness to try and race it, maybe, because it feels like it's dangerous to ride and so dangerous to race.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see that in the times and the intensity. You can sometimes see it
Yeah,
in the body language. Yeah, the riders that are at World Cup, like once it's a race, there's this subconscious intensity, and someone like Ronan Dunn that wants to win. Bernard Kerr like wants to come back, wants to prove himself. Like, you can see that intensity versus someone like Josh Bryceland, who used to have the intensity, but now he said he didn't quite find it even on race day. He wanted to go a bit quicker, but his seeding felt like he had intensity. And then in the race, maybe a bit of the conditions or just not having the sort of race reps under your belt. Like there is a level of commitment and intensity, for lack of a better term, to use it again, that you have to have if you want to win. Like you don't win hardline by getting down. Like that's clear
No.
as day. It's progressed so much, and obviously Bernard Kerr took so much flack, which I think was kind of unfair because I understand the concept that he was trying to explain. And if you listen to the whole podcast, the concept's there, and everyone's like, you're bitching about someone not sharing lines on a racetrack. But so you've probably spoken to Bernard and he's probably laughing about it. Give some insight into Bernard and then also the vibe, because they are still sharing so much.
So interestingly, actually, what you mentioned earlier, that there's not really tape. I did notice some bits of tape up on track.
Or poles.
I did notice some bits of... There was some tape.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think kind of as a direct reaction to what happened in Tasmania, I guess. There was some like orange tape that was like no corner cutting tape. It made me laugh. Bernie, though, he's I think he gets a lot of flack, but he's messing around, and I think there is truth in everything he says. I think sometimes he goes about it. He says it in a way that rubs people up the wrong way, but he did incredibly well. I mean, so from the pits, when he crashed in qualifying, right? Yeah, qualifying. There was talk that he had punctured his lung, broke a rib, and broke his leg. So that's what the medics had told everyone. And he'd been rushed off to hospital. So I was like, oh man, that sucks. We're not going to see Bernard in finals. I gave him a call that night to sort of commiserate him and say, sorry to hear it, dude. And then he's like, we're good, we're racing. He was fine, apparently, which I find hard to believe. But and then for him to put down a time, like he was only just off the podium, very impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, he said it's his own fault for crashing and coming down earlier. And, you know, him and Dunn, I think, were fairly in maybe a little bit different conditions in places. They maybe didn't have the race-winning pace. Like, I'm not saying that, but yeah, he did a good job in treacherous conditions. Like, you would think a little bit traumatic of a crash after having the crash you had in preseason. But to able to just put that behind you just shows you these guys... Like you said, what is the difference? Well, the willingness to try put that behind you mentally, knowing that you could have another crash, but your goal, you're still a top-fledged racer. Like that's what drives you. And someone like Josh Bryson coming back, it's not what drives him anymore. You know, you get to the point maybe subconsciously you aren't willing to risk as much because you know you're going to hit the ground. Because those top guys, I mean, like you said, that open stuff at the top, it looks okay-ish on the telly, but you can see by some of the guys riding that it is just an ice rink out there. So if you want to win, you've got to go that fast that you are risking a crash. Like it's luck of the draw. It's not skill that you stay on. There's a pot of luck. Like Ollie Clark had the pace at the top, but then kind of came unstuck because you've got to ride that razor edge.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And it's not really a problem. Hey, so you've got all of these like features, these big features that you're riding as quick as you can. I don't know how you ride a 90-footer quicker than the pace that you ride a 90-footer at, but it's the bits in between that I think don't come across in at hardline, but like it's a really gnarly downhill track without any of the big features. And I kind of wonder whether those are the bits that you're riding at a knife edge, and those maybe are the bits that make up all the time.
I would 100% agree. I think you've spotted that perfectly. There is only a certain pace you can do that on-off. Like, yes, you could do it minutely quicker, but you do risk over jumping that, which I don't even know if I want to do that feature ever. I just feel like there's not enough room for error the first few times. Like it looks like a few guys landed in the middle and then just before they touched, they were jumping again. But anyway, there's only a certain speed. You're totally right. It's those in-between sections, and often that's World Cup it's by doing those sort of simple bits so well, not making mistakes where you have to carry speed. Like, it's all those things that sometimes you miss because a hardline makes you focus on the huge features, like makes you focus on the crazy road gap. But the rock section coming in, if you watch the top guys, they are carrying a little bit more pace.
Yeah,
That looked horrible. Yeah, there are so many sections there that. How horrible is it? Like, how hard is hardline now that you've been there in person?
It is horrible. My least favourite feature, I like the way we're talking about it, like, my least favourite feature was the cliff drop.
Yeah, is that the one where they land harsh?
Yeah, harsh landing. It's blind. You kind of could come in with too much speed. If you did buck and go over the bars, then it would be such a long and drawn out horrific crash. It's like, if you cased, it sort of seems unnecessarily thin case pad, and like you have to be so accurate and land at the top, and that looked really horrible to me.
They said they shaved it off by an inch at the top and added 2 inches at the bottom. I was like, gee, Dan, seriously? Like, it's gonna look like it's quite unnecessarily. No, it's necessarily G and Dan, but it's unnecessary for a race. That
was probably my least favourite. That's a horrible feature. After you've just ticked off all the other horrible features above, so yeah, I would say hardline is hard. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, like, people's approach to hardline is, there's not that much disrespect going on the course. Brendan's quite disrespectul, I would say.
I was going to say, that's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
That's cheeky. That's disrespectful.
I thought Olly Clark was sort of riding it quite disrespectfully. I've not really had the chance to see him ride much, and I thought he was quite a disrespectful rider on course. Dude, but I think other than that, mate, most of the field really were kind of riding the course with respect. Even people who were going quicker, there's a way of riding the course
with respect.
You're not doing whips and stuff. And like,
well, you are if you're chaos, but we saw how that ended.
There you go. Yeah.
Is he all right?
Oh, that was a big. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think.
Okay, well then we can laugh about. Yeah, like he's doing it for huge. The fans. That's chaos, and it shows you how quick it can go wrong when the jumps are that.
True.
Mate, he basically crashed his goggles off his helmet.
Yeah, it is actually true. Like you get so used to everything looking. You just get so used to it, don't you? You forget that they're sort of big jumps and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's mad. Especially if you're there for the week and it's going on and on and on, and you keep seeing people riding the same jumps, and then you just become completely used to it. You don't even think that it's a big jump anymore. So like those finish line jumps, for instance, you see so many people do them every single time, and you forget how fast they're going until chaos crashes and comes off, and you see him ragdoll along the floor, and you realise, oh yeah, he's actually going like 35 miles an hour or something.
That's well put. It is like being a Darkfish. You get numb to how big it is and what the consequences could be, like when someone has a moment or or God forsake has a crash. It's
like you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it turns out you can get unlucky on 90 foot and it sucks, and then you realize that it's 90 foot. But I mean, yeah, I love how you said riding with disrespect. But Olly Clark, I mean, yeah, I saw him take a crash in where were we? Andorra. Yeah, but I mean, there he got unlucky, but he did like a head spin. It went quite viral you might have seen the clip. Yeah, he does ride with a little bit of like, disrespect's a good word.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I do. I totally know what you mean. Like, even Dunn had a level of respect. You heard him like, I didn't want to crash again. He mentioned his helicopter quote that's now come true. Like, that's crazy shit. You know, he has gone home in a helicopter in a race run. He's kind of laughing it off. But Charlie Hatton, I mean, there was 9 out of 10 riders saying, oh, I'm just glad to get out here safe. I'm glad to get out here in one piece. I'm like, what? then what are you doing there, you crazy men, you know?
Yeah, totally. You mentioned Charlie Hatton. I was really, really rooting for Charlie. Like, I really thought he was gonna get it.
He deserved it the way he rode. Like, that's the Charlie we know, right? He's obviously not had the World Cup season we all would hope, and him as well, but maybe the relaxed atmosphere. I think this is going to spur him on for the rest of the season to say, okay, I've got to just let it hang out a little bit, you know. And he had a mistake or two, but man, that was a fun run to watch. You know, Asa almost kept it more in a pile than a Charlie Hatton run, which normally Charlie is neat.
Yeah, he's such an incredible rider. I also thought Laurie Greenland was looking really, really dialed as well, actually, on track. It feels like you can see. It feels like you can see who's gonna do well. It's quite a crazy thought when you really think about. Well, you know, when you're at the side of a racetrack and you're watching people come through, and you're like, "Oh man, he's going so quick." Think about if you're watching, maybe let's say it's 5 seconds of racetrack, and let's say that the top guys are finishing in the same second. Like, the chances of you seeing the speed difference is actually it's really hard to pick up on actual speed difference, isn't it? We all think we can see it, but these are the fastest people in the world. If you're watching just a 5-second section of track, the chances of you actually picking it up, you might be picking up like body language, how hard they're attacking, you might be picking up all number of different things, but you might also not be picking up the speed. But it feels like you can at hardline a bit, I think. And maybe that's because the variance is bigger in times.
No, I think you'll pick it up. But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like, how much is the person attacking? How comfortable does he look at that speed? You know, is he on the ragged edge? Does it look like he's got more, you know?
Yeah.
And then you'll know someone's riding style. But like Laurie, that looked Laurie of old. Even just me watching that race run. Obviously, he came unstuck there, and he seemed gut. Like, you could see, and then you're saying he looked like that in practice as well. You can sometimes
he did.
See
he made
if
it
someone,
look nice.
You can see if someone wants it that week.
Yeah.
Versus like going through the motions. I'm not saying anyone was going through the motions, but maybe at hardline, they are going through the motions in terms of like riding the features safely, and they're there to get exposure, and they know like they're not there to try to get a win. But maybe back to the burner thing is, it is quite the race to win now. You know,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
there's prestige behind winning a hardline, like there is behind winning a rampage. You know, will we see more World Cuppers try to dip their toe in there? You know, maybe when they're not in the series title hunt. You know, like this is a big win for Asa, obviously as a junior, but still you've got it on your CV.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really stoked for him. He actually seems seems like a really, really cool guy. It's funny when you see someone like that win, it doesn't feel like it's the last time you're going to see them win. And I couldn't tell you what that is. There's some sort of level of composure. There's some sort of just, I don't know. I know it's not the first time he's won something as well, but like, there's just something about the way the kid holds himself that just makes you think, yeah, okay, we're going to see a bit more of you.
Do you think he's like the hot girl in high school that becomes even more beautiful and isn't actually that aware? Because like he says like, oh yeah, it wasn't the best run, like I'm glad to take the win. It's like, what are you talking about? You just beat some of the best racers in the world. Yeah, it's pretty cool to win. Yeah, I wasn't that fast at the top, but I kind of probably did okay in the middle. Oh, did okay. Yeah, he put a second or so into Charlie Hatton that looked like he was on the ragged edge and lives nearby, you know, and former world champion. So he is a humble kid. I've heard that from Nico, you know, always helping with the pits tear down and not letting this sort of speed and stardom go to his head. And I think you're right. Cool, he's a generational talent. But
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
he's almost a bit like, when he is inexperienced in a way, and in some ways, even though his riding is so experienced, the way he rides looks like he's like been doing it for 10 years
but he
at the
looks,
top.
yeah, but it looks like winning riding, doesn't it? It doesn't look like, I don't know, it just doesn't look like kind of fifth place riding. It just looks like winning riding. It just looks like efficient and like,
Yeah, it is super efficient. Yeah, what did it look like in practice? It looked in control and so efficient.
yeah, same. I mean, yeah, it's very impressive indeed. Very impressive indeed. I've actually got a new favourite rider though, from Hardline.
Who is?
Again, someone that I haven't had a chance to see before. This I was so blown away by his style on a bike and how good he was. He was like he's like Kevin Windham. Do you remember Kevin Windham Moto?
I do, but you haven't said who it
The
is.
technique is perfect. Dan
Who
Booker,
is it?
dude.
Dan Booker.
Yeah. This is an impressive rider. Have you seen him ride?
Not well, just from afar, but he's
Holy.
been doing so well on the EDR.
He hurt himself, I think, in the practice of morning finals.
Yeah, he didn't race,
maybe,
right? I didn't see him on the
no,
broadcast.
he didn't race, but
yeah.
I would have really liked to see where he finished, because he, just his style on the bike and yeah, all of his techniques is just such a joy to watch. It's like I haven't seen someone move that nice on a bike for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you'd be picking up a lot of that, like with your background, like someone's bike handling skills. Maybe not the raw speed all the time. You got a lot of guys there that have crazy bike handling skills, like a Josh. Like, to me, seeing that guy move a bike around,
yeah,
there's not many that have been that good or will be that good.
No, it's so cool, isn't it? It's so cool. But Dan falls into that category. Like the Bryn Atkinson cornering category, and all of those guys that you just watch over and over again, like, oh, how he seemingly is one of them. But he's just won EDRs. He's obviously fast. It would have been quite cool to see where he actually would have finished. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. That is cool. Like, some people say, okay, the field's not as deep, and they've got some free riders in there. But part of me thinks that's kind of the unique allure of Hardline, is to see some old races that you can't see, or, World Cups getting tighter with the field getting smaller. But it's kind of cool seeing what can Josh Bryson do, what can G do. Like G in the top 10, like, he doesn't need to do it, but he's kind of joking he's there till there's a race there, and that's impressive, man. To get through those crashes that G has and to still want to push at that pace. Yeah, just there's different things in that guy's blood than me, for sure.
Oh man, yeah. G's incredible, yeah. And I mean, it's what I really like about Hardline, is the fact that Josh is there. You've got all these characters. You've got Brayton there. It's wicked, isn't it? It's great fun. It's a race and a story and a week, and yeah. Yeah, you might not be tuning in to be like, okay, they're going to go fast, the next guy's going to go fast. It's like, okay, we kind of know they're not going to challenge the time, some of these riders. Even when they qualify 10th, then you kind of know, okay, when racing gets going, like when the chips are down, they maybe won't get that sort of result. But part of me liked that, and obviously Warner and Elliot entertaining about that, about the stories and stuff like that. So I did enjoy that more than I have in the past, because I think I've just been more open-minded what style of race Hardline is. Yeah, totally. I mean, if there were 5 Hardlines, how do you think it would impact? Like, who do you think would end up riding them?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Well, I think you've now seen with your Brooke McDonald's, George Brannigan, and a few others, like, okay, I'm just going to do Crankworks and these Hardlines because of the exposure and stuff. Like, you could see someone go earlier, stop World Cup racing earlier if there's this sort of series, right?
Yeah, like an alternative.
But then can you get Asa there all the time? Like Jackson was a no-show, which is pretty good, I guess, with what he's been doing in the World Cup. He needs a break. There's added risks. Now, I know he crashed at a hardline, but I think it was like a pretty fair racing incident. It was not on a big feature. It was on a downhill section. So that's a good question. Like, could they do more of these? I'm sure they'd love to, but you need the venues. And then, what do we see if you stretch it to 4 or 5?
Yeah. I had a really funny conversation with a fan. He came up to me. He was absolutely gutted. Jackson wasn't there. He's like, "What? Why isn't he there? It's ridiculous. Why isn't he?" Like, he's really like venting to me. And I said, "Oh, I know, man, but I guess like it's fair enough. The syndicate don't want to. He's leading the World Cup out, so I guess." He's like, "Yeah, but still, surely he wants to come." Yeah, I don't. I think they're kind of, their whole business is based around winning the World Cup. So I think like it doesn't matter if he wants to do a race or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to be nice about it, but
and then they're like, "No, but there's so much coverage in the record. The views are way bigger. Like it's way bigger."
Exactly.
You're like, okay, let me try this again. Right. So there's 20 odd staff at a race, and there's people in the office, and there's bike development, and like. It's not disrespectful to hardline. There's just other priorities right now, and rightly so, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
like
so
it's kind of
that
not
is
their
the
business
challenge.
objective, is it? Yeah.
No, not at all. So, I don't know what to say. Like, it doesn't have an asterisk hardline because, if you want to go win hardline, then you just go and sign up and take a risk. And then you can be on the trophy, right? You can't just say, "Oh, not all the World Cup guys are there." It's like, not a lot of them want to be there. So you're going to beat those guys that don't want to be there,
Yeah, totally. Right, which other, if you were to see a 5-round hardline championship, where would you want to see them? Where would you want to see them be held? So we've got Tasmania, we've got that like crazy red dirt. We got the Welsh. There's always going to have to be a Welsh one, isn't there?
It's the original.
The original hardline. What else would you want to put on that list?
Well, selfishly, South Africa. Nice and close. Yeah, Stellenbosch, the home bike park, nice and close to home. Sleep in your own bed. We can e-bike from the shop. So that's self. But I do think
hardline in your rear garden. Yeah, all right, fair enough.
In my back garden. I think you could make a track big enough and hardline enough. I guess. Anyway, other than that, I guess New Zealand, like they did.
Yeah, that makes sense, wouldn't it? Natural selection.
They did natural selection there, so you can maybe piggyback off that and make like a gnarly. Yeah, of course you could. Brooks got that trail there. You could probably do some of it there. Obviously, you need logistics and a venue and all that. So New Zealand, I mean, it'd be silly not to do one there. And then what about one at Whistler? I mean, there's been enough rumors, that they're going to have a World Cup there even next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that rumor for 10 years. But, I mean, you could probably make like a gnarly hard line up there. Where would you
it's a cool thought, isn't it? I love the idea of it. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I think that the idea that you could do something unique and to have it spread all the way across the world, not just a European series, is quite exciting, isn't it? The thought of it. I did really enjoy the whole event. There's something cool as well about it being invite only, few riders, and the track is like graded. Like they've got a trail crew there. If a hole opens up in a turn, they patch it up, and there's something really cool about that, I think, compared to like a World Cup where it's constantly changing.
Yeah, and I mean, World Cups, as serious as it can get, it is a relaxed atmosphere. The riders all hanging out, doing weird content together and challenge. What did they do this year? Were they doing the who could
All
balance the
sorts.
longest. They do all sorts of stuff in the evenings. It's a cool week. What other stuff that we didn't see? Obviously on the broadcast. What else is going on behind the
Well,
scenes?
they really pull out all the stops, Red Bull, don't they? On this event, it seems there was like a jet. I didn't see it, but the guy with the jet arms.
A propulsion thing.
Yes, a floating man, basically.
And you didn't have a go. I thought
No, I
you'd
didn't even.
asked
I
for a
didn't even
go.
see it. He
Oh.
was in the finish line. I've just seen videos of it.
Is
What
that
else
why
was
you were
there?
sick in the car having a moment?
Yeah, probably.
Shame.
There was a wingsuit. What do you even call it? I don't even know. Like the squirrel suit thing. The big.
It's called a wingsuit.
The wingsuit. But then, what would you call the person? There was a wingsuit person.
Pilot.
Diver. Pilot.
Pilot.
I don't know.
I think
pilot.
many things are called pilot, but that guy's flying. I think we can call him a pilot. Wingsuit
Okay,
pilot.
so there was
or
the wingsuit
passenger.
pilot.
The wingsuit passenger.
I thought this was amazing. The wingsuit pilot that they had, they did like 5 jumps and they followed the contour of the course and came really close to the ground, just above the cliff drop. That wingsuit pilot was the sister of Leo, Kai, and Toby Forte.
The wingsuit
How crazy is
pilot.
that?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, she's their sister, yeah.
And for people
What
that don't know,
crazy family.
they're top BMXers.
That's right, yeah.
And she used to ride or not at all? She just got into this.
I have no idea. I kind of wish we got on a podcast. It would have been super
Yeah, that
super
would have been
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. Like I like to imagine their sort of Christmas meals. Like the boys boasting about BMX and then she sort of swans in.
Lands on the grass.
Do you want to know what I...
How does she arrive there? Lands on the grass in a wingsuit.
They put parachutes out, dude. They don't just like skim onto...
Oh, I've seen someone crash into those boxes before.
That's true. Maybe she does that. That'd suit Christmas. You could do it with parcels.
Why can't they just...
What,
Has no one ever done that?
along the bellies?
No,
I don't
just...
know. Hey mate, the
I don't know
night
the
is
term.
young.
Get
You could be the first.
negative thrust and then just boom on the heels.
Oh, what, like flare out?
Yeah,
That'd
flare.
be really nice, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem
That
is
would be nice.
you have to be close enough to the ground, which if you misjudge that, it's not good. And then if you're too high, not good. It's just not a lot of... It's like a pretty net negative consequences to try that.
Have you ever done a skydive or anything?
No, I'm too shit scared. I've done bungee jump, which they say is worse, so I probably need to skydive. Shit, maybe I should go for my birthday coming up.
Oh, really?
I think I just
I
need
find
to
them
be
just a
taken
strange
off
type
and
of
do that.
danger. I don't
Like
know if it's my kind
unnecessary.
of danger. Yeah, a little bit.
Like hardline. So basically,
Hey, there you go.
we've brought it back. We've segued and we've
What a pro.
brought it back. Yeah. There's some unnecessary danger there. What about the ladies? What about Lou getting down there? I mean, that is monumental, man.
Yeah, it was really
That's
cool.
huge.
Cool to see in practice. Obviously, the guys. I think it must have become more competitive over the years. Hardline. I mean, obviously, everyone always wants to win it, but I think I remember seeing more of a what would you say, camaraderie between the riders, and they're all like hanging out and sessioning things a bit more. And now it feels like a bit more serious, maybe. Anyway, you know what guys are like, basically. They're storming off down the course. Everyone's trying to tick off every feature as quick as they can. And the ladies, naturally, I think, have a different approach to ticking this course off. They're like much more considered in their approach to features and to hitting them. And it was quite cool. It was really cool to see they're all working together, and yeah, actually made it happen. I think I was really gutted for Cami and Hannah, because they basically and Via, actually, they kind of really ticked the course off together, and then Lou was the only one who actually got the job done before the cut-off date. So the rules are that in qualifying you have to do a full run if you want to go to finals. So you have to have done every single feature on track. And I think Hannah had, maybe she hadn't done the second 90. There was just something, just like one thing that she hadn't ticked off that meant she couldn't go to finals. Vi had like done pretty much everything, I think, and then ended up breaking her arm on an in-between section. And Cammy was actually like guinea pig on a lot of features and ended up doing her ankle, I believe, on the finish line log thing. It was just unfortunate because I think we could have actually potentially seen a 4-woman final. There was 4 people that could have done a full top to bottom, basically. Yeah,
that is a bit heartbreaking. But Lou was really good in sort of mentioning that at the finish, and all the ladies being at the bottom.
Did she? Yeah,
and Tani and the ladies from Tasmania, kind of making them aware of what is possible and doing that. So it is incredible to see. I mean, it's world's first, right? And yeah, luck is part of the game out there. So props for them for ticking off all those features and the conditions. Man. So slick.
Yeah, totally. She's really great as well. Like as in terms of like an ambassador for women's cycling. Like you saw all the girls in the finish line area, and just to have that, if you don't see it, then you don't want to do it. And just to have her crossing the line, it was just like you could feel almost the magnitude of it. It was really impressive, yeah. Really cool to see.
Could you imagine what the future will look like 5-10 years? Or the next generation, obviously even longer, maybe 15 years from now, 10-15 years.
Crazy, eh? Crazy to think.
You didn't answer where you'd want hardlines.
Where would I want hardlines? Back garden.
Okay, so Surrey Hills.
Yeah.
Swindon.
No, I'm joking. I wouldn't want them here. There's not a hill big enough. That
hill looks so big and steep.
Dude, wow. I think just like video game levels of mountain biking. So like Tekken levels. Do you know what I mean? Like Hawaii. Or Hawaii. I think there should be one in Hawaii. I think there should be one in where else? Tokyo. Hardline Tokyo. How cool would that be?
That would be incredible. I mean, I just remember just before I got on this circuit, they went to Japan. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah,
Japan
I remember that.
Would be cool.
But yeah, and I think it could be anywhere. It does have to be gnarly enough, though, doesn't it?
No, it has to be quite the hill, right? Like length.
I guess you can build a lot of stuff, can't you?
No, Tassie has steep bits. I mean, I haven't been there, so I'm talking out of my arse. But there are steep bits, and then you've got to build these big features, so you need space for that. And minimal wind. Wind and 90s don't get together. That's for sure.
No. I think there was real concern that wasn't going to happen for finals. That's why they built that beeline. Basically,
was
all
there
of the
beeline?
Trees.
Oh, yes, that's smart, yeah.
We actually filmed like a section on the beeline because we thought maybe it might be the keys to the race. It might be how the race ends up happening, because hardline, historically, that whole section has been covered by trees and they've all been harvested. So the jumps look really impressive. It's cool to see the jumps and it's lovely to see across the valley, but with that comes a lot of wind, and it was crazy during the build-up how often like Afi was having to close the jumps, close the 90s because of wind. There's wind socks on them. There's a kind of a constant wind up the valley, creating a side wind, which would have just been awful to jump in. So we'd kind of thought that maybe on finals day there was going to be crap weather because it was going to be in the afternoon, and that was seemingly where the wind came in every single day in practice. So yeah, they built a beeline, and it didn't end up getting used, thankfully.
I think that's good, though. Good that it didn't get used. And number two, I think as these races progress, and we spoke about it with the Tasmania one, like when there's wind and you're forcing riders, like that's the only line, like then unnecessary crashes could happen. It's not the best for the broadcast, not the best for the event, but if you've cut through all that effort, all that money to like host an event, and then that's just part of the story, like it's been shut down, it's too windy, that would be cool to have safer options depending on weather and wind. I mean, that's definitely, it's conservative, but I think you maybe hopefully need that. And it's cool that they had that. That's smart.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be 50-50, and then like once you set off at the start, there's no turning back.
Oh, imagine how fun it would be just knowing how much time it's worth to just hit the 90s, even though it's windy. How tantalising it would be. You'd have to do it, wouldn't you?
Well, you would. The guy that wants to win the race would, but it's just that's just a coin flip, right?
BK is not going through the beeline, is he? Let's be honest. It could be a tornado.
I think maybe Ronan done this year, maybe his team would say, you go and beeline, buddy. But normally
you reckon,
would.
Yeah.
No ways.
Yeah. There's
no ways. You could see how much those guys, or how hard they're working and how much they want to win the event.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so Brendan, we know him well. We are not surprised, but still like a silly thing. It's a silly thing. I'm going to say, Brendan, it's a silly thing to do that. We know you can do that. We know it gets your heart racing. But the counter is, he has ridden the course before. He's seen the course this year. He has enough experience and knowledge to like chat it through. It's less of head games if you just do what he did.
I do hear you, yeah.
It's less thinking, you know. Sometimes you just got to commit and let your subconscious riding skill take over. He's very blessed that he has some of the most skill out of any rider that's ever lived. We know that. Not to big him up too much. But he's also a twat for doing that.
He is. I think the most impressive thing is that he got up, 4 a.m. on that day, and he's just driven 5 hours, turned up, one banged hardline.
One bang. Yeah, I loved it. I liked your guys' pod on that. You guys...
What a guy.
I might remember to link to the show notes. The Ride Companion did a clip on that, talking you through it all. Yeah, and then there's times he'll surprise you, and when he's feeling it, he's feeling it. Because then there'll be times at Darkfest, I rode one morning and he didn't. He's like a little bit worn out from the flight and didn't get a good night's sleep. And then he didn't ride, and it was a perfect session. No wind, good temperatures, and he just didn't ride. I thought he was being like a little miserable, but he wasn't feeling it. So, that was an interesting take on the week. One banger. But he gets those things in his head, hey?
Yeah.
You're not much different. I went hardline training with him on our enduro bikes, and then your steep roll in to drop to then another drop.
Oh, yeah.
And then he said you opened that on your own like a couple of years ago.
Pretty weird that, isn't it? Yeah.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
No, after my Darkfest crash, he was like, what, you can do it? I was like, nah, maybe, but it's not happening, because I just was looking at all the consequences, and I was like, it's so pointless. And then I was someone did this for the first time on his own in the woods.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do the drop that's next to it? Sorry, I've forgotten that we're on a podcast here. I'm just having a conversation with you now.
Isn't that? Oh, that's good. Which drop?
When you did that hardline training thing, the drop that's in that same area, did you do it? The one that he chain ringed?
Oh, well, no, obviously not. If Brendan takes me over to a step down that he chain ring and says it was the gnarliest thing ever, then I'm not going to do it. No, you didn't do it that day. I was just
wondering, dude.
But did you do it?
Not know. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
He said some youngsters done it or built it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's quite gnarly inspiration, YouTube, people are getting up to. Like, that's quite a technical, gnarly drop for some youngster to just build in the woods.
Oh, he's a pro rider.
Oh, he's a pro rider.
Yeah, Andy Lemon, yeah. Yeah, he's a gangster, yeah.
Well, clearly.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it? Yeah.
No,
and
Brendan's having...
as well.
And hip. Well, I thought that was quite technical, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, yeah, a bit disappointed Brendan couldn't get a race run down there. You know, we did some good training in a 2-3 hour period there in Peaslake, you know.
Would have been good to see.
Got him to do 3 sprints. Got him to do some turns, some drops.
Nice.
That was quite funny. Well, what else? What guests have you guys got coming up?
Oh, do you know what? Haven't even had a chance to sort of. I literally got back yesterday, so we did get we got a good few in there. It was actually a very difficult. It wasn't like super easy to record podcasts.
While a race week's going on?
Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's why I haven't
thinking.
That's why I haven't done many before. It is cool. It's great what you guys did, but to tell
really
someone
difficult.
to sit down for 2 hours,
exactly. And like, even if you say, "Oh no, we'll just do a half an hour slot," it's like, yeah, but they're trying to race hardline. They're not trying to sit down and promote anything for half an hour. Like, yeah, people weren't as up for it as we thought. So it was certainly more difficult, but we had some kind friends that did come on. So we got, I actually don't know what's out now, what we've already put out by the time this podcast comes out, but we've got Eddie Masters. We did one with Elliot Jackson. We obviously did one with Brent. We did one with, oh my goodness, I've gone completely blank.
Well, you've been
Josh Bryceland. Have I just said that?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Josh
cool because you get those guys that aren't as easy to kind of sit down a normal time, any time of the year. But then, like someone like Josh is there, he's kind of stuck. So that's
good.
We
want.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah, Josh was wicked to get on actually, but we wanted to get loads, but it just
you're like, hey Charlie, just
wasn't there.
Like, I know you're focusing on this race and you're a bit stressed out, but like, I know it's just hardline. You can just come sit here for an hour, right?
It was so hard. And then obviously Cade was on our list. Cade had a crash in practice and broke his ribs.
Oh no!
And he didn't really want to sit down and do a podcast and talk about how he would have loved to be riding.
Turns out he wasn't in a great mood. Shame, man. He's just having a rough go at it. I did catch that he was there, but so he had a shitty crash.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I was excited to see him race.
Yeah, that's a rad guy to see back between the tape for sure.
Yeah, such an amazing talent, isn't he? So look forward to him being back on the next round, I guess. I don't know.
And this is a cool event because someone like Sam Gale, you know, like I don't know if you saw him ride, also like super precise and
nice,
neat,
doesn't he? Yeah,
and he's he's still like a privateer, but he's doing results at World Cups. You can get maybe a bit more exposure here as well. So maybe that's the rider. Say you went to 5, you could see a guy like that turning up at all of them, and then
definitely
moving and shaking and getting a team behind him. You know.
Yeah, how cool would it be? Like there's like hardline only teams.
Well, I was gonna say, if you think about like the exposure they're getting, the talent they're going up against, you could argue that it's worth sponsoring a team if there's enough, you know?
Yeah.
Because like if you say, okay, we're gonna field a team at a World Cup, can't guarantee the finals, or we're kind of guaranteed to get coverage and some results throughout the season, you could see where that does add value.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's nice. The whole thing's a nice atmosphere actually as well. There's not giant race fans and battle of the pits and stuff. It's just all little 3x3s. Everyone's in this kind of little village, chatting, talking. Everyone can see each other. It's cool.
What was the fans at the bottom looked pretty good. I saw in Win TV like a lot of riders coming, a lot of fans coming to get riders autographs, and like seems like the finish area was pretty packed. I don't know if they're allowed up on course. Maybe not. They're not really going to access the top, so they are just at the
allowed
bottom.
up to the 90s. Yeah, so you weren't allowed. None of us were allowed anywhere above there for the race.
What the whole? Oh, for the race.
For the race, yeah. So, but the whole track was lined. It was amazing, really. Yeah, it was really cool to see. It's always good to see giant crowds at bike races, and yeah,
it is something like I'm thinking. I think next year I just got to get the schedule lined up and come up there with you and Bren. You know, if Bren does it again, like it is something I haven't seen in person. You know, like Rampage I haven't, but I'm 50-50 on if I want to step sight at Rampage. A bit scared for everyone I know. But Hardline maybe is a bit more in my wheelhouse, you know, like it would be cool to have a vibe up there. So might have to put it on the old calendar.
Yeah, you should. I tell you what, every single time I've been to mid-North Wales, it's been rainy before, and it was just such perfect weather. And you know, you go to those places, Fort William, for instance, when you're there and it's good weather, you're like, wow, it's actually the dream, this place. We kind of had that experience of Hardline. It was like perfect weather, and it's just a joy to be up there. The drive in, perfect, amazing scenery. You've got fighter jets coming around the valley every 3 seconds. It's just, yeah, it was pretty cool. I got the full Hardline experience, and you should definitely do it too. Yeah.
Well, there you go, race fans. That was Olly Wilkins. Thanks for making the time, man, for being so ecstatic. I almost didn't want to do this, but you pushed me over the edge. So I hope the listeners enjoyed it. And they're going to follow The Ride Companion and Olly Wilkins on Instagram. And we're going to get some actual interviews, rider interviews. We're doing a lot of race reviews lately, but there's a few of those dropping. And then I'll see you guys back for the Leger review.
There you go.
Race fans, till the next one.
Thanks, Needles.